What's up, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube? Nerdy Narcotics Podcast coming at you today to talk about our most excited and anticipated games coming out, let's just say the first half of 2016, so we'll keep it holiday games away, hopefully. I am Sir Nate.
I'm Mickey.
Logan.
Prophet.
Alright, so first on the agenda, we have Mafia 3 is the first one I want to talk about, which is coming out April 26, 2016. Mafia 2 was, big, but it didn't get like a little overshadowed by Red Dead Redemption, Grand Theft Auto. You think they can pull it to like AAA status and just be the next big thing? We've seen the trailer.
The only thing I remember about Mafia 2 was I think I was like 10 or 9 when it was out. Or not that long ago, actually. Probably like 13. And when it came out, I only played the demo on the PS3, but I remember finding Playboy magazines, and that was my goal for the demo. Was just go around and get all the Playboy magazines when I was 13 years old. So that's what I remember. I never bought the real game. I should have, but you know.
Yeah, I never played 2, but I did beat 1, and I didn't really enjoy it that much. It was just kind of slow. Yeah, like.
Ooh, Saints Row's another one. Charles kind of competition.
True. And I felt the same way about Mafia, the first one. I really wanted to get into the story, but some of the gameplay was kind of jerky, and the vehicles not riding really fast. You're almost on a carriage, carriage vehicles, 1930s vehicles. And they try to make it too realistic, so you drove super slow. It was just retarded.
Yeah, I remember there's like a race car you can get that like can hit 50.
Yeah,
it's like a prototype race car.
Yeah, it was like one of those like Rolls-Royce Phantom type of vehicles.
Aren't you glad Grand Theft Auto doesn't follow that logic? You could grab a Prius and it's like 40 miles an hour and just stops.
You grab the Faggio and it's fun.
The Faggio,
which is the little scooter that.
Yeah. Anyway, we just saw the trailer, so initial thoughts. I don't want to be like super fanboy right off the beginning. It's my favorite game I've ever. No, it looks freaking awesome.
Oh, for real. Uncharted is coming at that time, and Mafia. I'll get them both if I can, right then and there. And I'll probably get into Mafia just because I'm into that. I don't know. I guess I want to be a gangster all my life. And so I enjoy Grand Theft Auto. I enjoy all those games that have that tone to it. The acting looks superb. I'm really intrigued about the story. I'm a big story buff, and they're very much into the story. So I'm really wanting to get into that.
Do you think they're more into the story than like Grand Theft Auto is? Not that they're no story, but
Yeah, it's going to be more linear story, more coherent type of story. But I love the satire that Grand Theft Auto brings. So don't get me wrong. I'm gonna look at it into it a little bit different perspective, more in a serious type. If anything, it'll compare more to L.A. Noire than it would be to Mafia.
Still haven't played that.
Which is good, because L.A. Noire was supposedly not that great. At least the reviews and stuff of it.
I didn't like it that much.
I heard it's still good as a game. Maybe not good as like a Rockstar game.
Or a $60 game.
That's exactly what happened to me. I have played and beat every Rockstar game that's ever come out. No, I'm lying. But, a lot of them, of the more popular ones, and I did not beat L.A. Noire because it wasn't a Rockstar game.
Did you beat that table tennis they did?
I tried to a lot. I beat that game. I played that game a lot. That game was amazing.
I heard it was fun for a table.
That game was amazing, but the spike of it got really difficult later on in the game.
So the new one does look amazing. I think my favorite thing, maybe it sounds stupid, but the lighting on it, like he was fighting like this dark alleyway and there's like a blinking light over in the corner. I'm a big fan of the 40s, 50s, 60s-ish styles, why I like the Bioshocks, because that was just awesome for me. So I'm going to really like seeing like the Grand Theft style in the Mafia Bayou. So we just mentioned it a little bit ago, but perhaps Mafia 3's biggest thing to overcome would be on the same day of April 26th, Uncharted 4 comes out, which is like the PlayStation 4's killer app, must-have, it's gotta be. And this whole podcast should be called the Awesome Podcast. I'm gonna say about probably everything mentioned. It looks awesome.
For real.
Mafia did a brave choice to do this because Uncharted looks pretty tight.
So did Tomb Raider when they launched besides Fallout,
and we know what happened with that.
Yeah.
I believe I was at GameStop that night, and they had one person picking up Rise of the Tomb Raider, and just everybody else was Fallout.
Which is sad because Rise of Tomb Raider looks amazing, and as far as what I've heard from the reviews, is that it is a better game than the last one. And the last one was amazing. I mean, I played that game, beat it, and started right back up with it because it was so good. So I can't wait to play that game. But besides that, Mafia doing that, what I think is that as we get closer to that, Mafia will push it away, to be honest with you. Give it a 2 week, give it a month or something like that. But it is pretty stupid to try to compete with Uncharted.
Yeah, Mafia is kind of the underdog in this situation, but because Uncharted 4 is I think much more successful franchise so far. But I don't know if it's too late to change their release date or.
Well, I mean, the Mafia 3 looked like we just talked about it. That maybe that was going to push the game to AAA status, but that's hard to do alongside Uncharted. Now, one of the things we saw in the trailer, of course, if you've got any remnants of the story, is he meets his brother and he goes on one, I guess we'll air quotes, final mission until Uncharted 5.
Thief's End, very foreboding for one thief at least.
Until Uncharted 5 comes out. This is his last mission. One thing that bugged me about every other one is every other one, spoilers for y'all two who haven't played it, or y'all two people out there who haven't played it, but everyone, he gets back with the same girl at the very end, and ends up making up with her, and they re-fall in love, and they go off in the sunset. And at the beginning of the next game, you start it up, and he's all like, "Fuck that bitch, we're not together anymore." Just every one of them.
That sounds funny.
He is definitely a player, and I haven't heard of any type of woman in this game. Now, there's got to be, because that's part of the chemistry that.
What do you think his brother's for?
It's just like a James Bond film. There's always a Bond girl.
Oops, I shouldn't say something.
Wait, what did you say?
Him and his brother gonna have a gangbang with the next girl, or fighting about it, or something like that.
I mean, DP, double penetration. Am I right?
Yeah.
All day, every day.
Uncharted 5, DP. There you go.
Trademark now. Get that ready.
Well, the coolest thing about I thought the new one is the trailer. I mean to say is. Everything looks so cinematic, and Uncharted always looks cinematic, but he accidentally gets seen at one point in the gameplay trailer, and it looks like it's almost like a cutscene with the reactions. It makes him fall off the ledge.
For real. I mean, you can't, these guys, Naughty Dog, they're just so on point all the time. And so when we saw that gameplay part, we thought, oh, that's a cutscene. But then again, he did some other move that brought in that dramatic movements into that gameplay. So you could see that it's going to happen more than just once. And it's just amazing. Again, their fluidity, the way they fight, the way that everything just lays out, how all the plants move. Naughty Dog is back on their game, and for anybody to try to choose something else over Uncharted, it's ridiculous.
Now, Logan mentioned that it is called A Thief's End, which slightly may worry me. Could Nathan Drake die out in this one? It's his last mission. I think his brother is technically a thief. If you would call Nathan Drake an adventurer, his brother was an actual thief or something like that. So maybe it has something to do with that. How do you feel about if Nathan Drake dies and they have to do something else for Uncharted 5, another character?
It can't happen, but I'm thinking that it just can't happen. It would be an uproar, and the internets would go, would shut down.
That's true, because, we want our heroes to go out, in the sunset, and even, the last one with 3, he kind of goes out, even if I don't think it was said, he was kind of I'm done adventuring, this is my girl, I'm going to calm down and stuff like that. Even if it wasn't said, it had that almost ending of an era kind of build.
Yeah, and in the trailer in this one, it's what was that guy's name? Sully. I need help getting back into this, or something like that. He's chasing the high again. He can't live without it anymore.
Which was very prevalent in every other one of them. Every other one, the girl, even at one time, the girl he always ends up with is you can't leave this alone. You can't go away. You why are you doing this? And he's usually pushes her down on the side. No, go away. I'm doing this.
Yeah, for real. That's always been, it's just in his blood. And we learned that in Uncharted 3, where as a little kid, he adopted Drake as his last name, just going hunting and stuff. So it's something that he's always enjoyed, and he can't get away with it. A Thief's End. Maybe he's going straight, but he's gonna go get that adventure
Last
on.
high.
I'm not gonna mention which one for spoiler's sake, but there was a comic that was boasting, we're gonna kill off a character, he's gonna die, and the way he quote unquote died was he gave up his mask and stuff. The character died, although he didn't. So it reminded me of that. His thieving days are at an end, although he is still very much alive until Uncharted 5.
Exactly.
And then they pass it off the mantle to a new main character.
A new Batman.
Yeah.
I'm all about that. I'm all about let's get a new character and stuff like that. But to top Drake is
Yeah, because you've got the voice that does so many games. I mean, and it's really, he is the voice of Nathan Drake. Yet they use him for Prince of Persia. They used him in I think even Halo. They used him in Assassin's Creed.
It's Nolan North, right?
Yeah.
Is it that or Nathan Fillion?
Nathan Fillion's the joke that he supposedly looks like now, and if they did a live action one, they should do. But it's Nolan North, right?
Nolan North is the one that's in every
He's
game.
also in Deadpool.
So
He's
is
also
Nathan
in Saints Row. He's also in Saints Row. He is the quote-unquote top of the male voice gaming industry.
And Nathan Fillion.
No, Nathan Fillion is a big name, but he's newer compared to Nolan North.
Oh, okay.
Nolan North has done everything.
Yeah, and and I think he's done stuff with Nathan Fillion, but it's still. I mean, Nolan North is probably the biggest paid gaming voice actor out there, and so, I mean, he could pull it off. To kill him off, and it might be that. It might be, hey, let's transition into something, but you definitely don't want to transition into something without passing the mantle, like someone mentioned. They pass the mantle to somebody that people are going to love. So, I don't know.
All right, so maybe the first game I don't go right off the bat and say it looks amazing would be Tom Clancy's The Division, which that is the lie. It does look amazing. Like, it looks amazing. What doesn't look amazing is that Ubisoft logo in the bottom right corner.
For real.
Hashtag never forget
Exactly.
Watch Dogs.
Not only that, but really, what do they have that's good nowadays? Assassin's Creed is decent, and they've worked it and cleaned it from what it was before, and this one's supposed to be better than the newer one, but the thing about it is that it's a hit and miss every time with Ubisoft.
Far Cry, and we talked about Far Cry Primal in another podcast that you should check out, but that's they're one of their best things.
Yeah, well, okay, you answered the question.
So, I was watching the gameplay, and the first thing that happened in the top of my mind was, this looks like Watch Dogs, which isn't a bad thing, but we all remember how Watch Dogs showed that gameplay, and then, after it came out, it's like, yeah, that looks nothing like what we got. For real.
And you're right, because the video that we were watching was more of the E3 release, which Watch Dogs was in that. And Watch Dogs looked a lot better. I mean, everybody was amazed at that game, and it wasn't like it. Not only that, but since we talked about Mafia and we talked about open world and whatever, The Division is supposed to take place in New York, where Watch Dogs was supposed to take place in Chicago. Now, that was Chicago's 4 blocks. I hope that New York won't be 4 or 5 blocks, but hopefully it'll be all Manhattan and even into the boroughs. Who knows, but...
One of my biggest problems with Watch Dogs was the amount of time that it was at E3 and the hype, because it wasn't necessarily a bad game, but it was going to be the next coming of, the prophets and the end of all games.
Assassin's Creed,
yeah.
Vista or whatever the heck.
Exactly. It was just going to be amazing. And then after 3 years, I got it. I'm like, meh. And that even made it worse because I just got so excited about it. And The Division has been at 3 to 4 E3s now. And they've dropped features like they had that little rotocopter thing that you were going to be able to play from a tablet and be able to have your buddy in, even if he doesn't have a PS4 because he lives out in the sticks. Hint, hint.
I would have loved to have played that on the Vita, be that person, or on my phone and be that person. Even though I don't have internet, I got my phone line that I could always connect. That would have been great, but they dropped it like you said, and
they canceled that.
But yet they're working on it a lot more, obviously, than Watch Dogs. But yet they keep dropping stuff. So it's just
they're learning. They are adapting. They are Skynet. All right.
I don't know. I like it. I mean, I think the idea is great. Me, am I ever gonna play it? No. I have to move into town to be able to play that. But because it's like a Division,
it's
right?
A persistent.
I mean, it's not the Division, but it's like Destiny, which is...
It's a persistent world, so you probably will have no single player and will have to have internet connection and always be connected. So if you don't have a strong, consistent internet connection, you might just be SOL.
And with any kind of multiplayer-only game, it always runs into the problem of eventually it's going to have a lifetime. It's going to have a shelf limit of
and the servers will go down.
Servers are going to go down, and it's just not.
And then
the
game doesn't exist anymore. Yeah.
Which is sad because I'm a huge retro gamer, but I can grab any game off that shelf right now, pop it in, and still play the exact same game. We're getting to a place now where a lot of games, you mentioned Destiny was one of them. I think The Crew is one, requires internet only and stuff like that, and more and more games. So
Titanfall
as well, which kind of more understandable because it was a multiplayer game. So we'll see in the future. Do we lose these classics? Maybe it'll be a way for them to resell it to us as the remastered version of the game.
Yeah.
I don't know if y'all remember this game called Defiance. It came out a few years ago, and it was supposed to come out with like a TV show that was on Sci-Fi.
Oh yeah.
And
I don't actually remember the game, but I remember the TV show.
I never watched the show.
It's in like a 99-cent bin. It's where you go to find it. It's like 99 cents.
It's not that old.
Here's the funny thing about that game. The players on the back, if you flip it over, says players 1 to 10,000.
Wow.
Nobody bought it, and like I remember, like it was out for 4 months, and it was already less than like $3 at GameStop. I was like, happy I didn't buy this. It went down so fast in price. Every time I see someone like pick it up, I think they shut the servers down, didn't they?
And that's a game. Yeah. That's a good example.
That's ridiculous.
So I guess what I will say is if The Division delivers on what it has given in our trailers, and it's a March 8th, so it's before Mafia, it's before Uncharted, we get a little bit of time to play with it, it's going to be awesome. But I guess it's sad that Ubisoft, it's like, if it delivers, we'll put that stipulation on it.
Yeah, it's that big if. And Ubisoft just... I mean, and not only that, but even the Uplay situation that they always try to put you in is not always 100% reliable. And to try to think that we're going to buy into, oh yeah, we've got this, we've got everything perfected, we've got our online playing great, and every day throughout however long we want you to be in there, it's going to work fine. I just don't trust Ubi for that. And so...
Didn't they stop Uplay? Or is that still a thing?
I got the Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege. Awesome game, by the way. It's still in there like, yo, link your stuff, and then you get those points, and you can get guns and skins and all that nonsense.
What was it, EA who stopped it?
Origin.
Someone stopped
Origin,
it.
I think got
Origin
stopped.
did stop. Yeah, I remember that.
EA is now less evil than Ubisoft, no, I'm kidding. But they did something nice, and Ubisoft's still going. Ubisoft has put themselves in that top. And, it used to be like Activision, EA. That's like the buyer beware brand. Now it's like Activision, EA, and Ubisoft. So
yeah. I mean, I remember getting Saints Row the Third pre-owned. I was like, I want to play with my friends. I need a code. The code's $20.
I remember that. That was retarded.
We could turn this whole podcast into EA bashing. It's
for real.
Mass Effect 3.
Next episode of Nerdy Narcotics Podcast: EA or Ubisoft?
Which is the greater evil?
EA, because they ruined Mass Effect 3.
Activision.
Hey, the multiplayer was fun, man. I liked it.
They ruined that game.
The ending's perfect, man. What are you talking about?
Well, speaking of Mass Effect Andromeda comes out 2016, and we're stretching a little bit because I think it's holiday or December, but I mean, it looks awesome. I can't wait.
Mass Effect's in the title, so I'm already throwing money at it. Just take it. I don't care, EA. I know you're evil. Just shut up and take my money.
You just walk up to the store counter. Sir, what is your biggest collector's edition? Here's my money.
Give me the biggest box you have for this.
This is bad. And we just got out of Star Wars and whatever, but I'm old as dirt. I grew up watching Star Wars. I watched Star Wars in the theaters, the original movie. Figure out how old I am at that point. But I love Star Wars. Once Mass Effect came out, Mass Effect became the universe I really wanted to be into. Loved Mass Effect 1. Played that 3 times all the way through. Played the second one, and it was so perfect that I only played it one time because I did not want to ruin that story that I had built.
Yeah,
and it was awesome. I don't want to tell anybody that was my story. Mass Effect 3 came out. I finished it. I sold all my consoles, and I haven't been able to recuperate since that. I haven't been much of a gamer since that.
I legit took a 2-week hiatus from gaming. At the end of that game, I was just like, what? I lost my will to game.
And when you heard that they added something new to the ending, what did you do?
It fixed it to the point where it was like...
It was acceptable.
But they took a game series that would have been perfect 10, top of the world, and then they just finished it with a meh. That's all right.
I remember
it was bad. Yeah, and like you said, it was mad, but it definitely gave a little bit of closure.
So I got done saying, oh yeah, there's no space exploration games, and completely forgot the last one on my list to talk about today is perhaps my most excited, most anticipated game, No Man's Sky, which comes out in June.
Shut up, take my money.
Yeah, I think this is one that we're all very excited about.
Well, I'm super excited about it. This geeks me out as no one else, but at the same time, I'm not really... I follow them. I get newsletters from them. I on Instagram with them. I can, interact with them all the time. They still haven't really showed a gameplay combat. What are you going to do? Just see a bunch of vistas?
There is no player models that I've seen yet. I've seen guns and I've seen creatures, but if you noticed during the little thing that we watched at least, when they were landing and other ships were landing, one ship landed right next to them and took right back off. You didn't see the guy get out. You have not seen any of the other player models that I have not seen at least.
Yeah, so
You did see them shooting at like robots and different stuff.
Yeah.
So
Well, with the whole robot situation is that if you can't really shoot the plant life, the animal life out there, if you start abusing the creatures in those,
It'll summon
a watcher, and those little guys will come out. You gotta shoot them, and in the middle of that, I've seen some combat with that. In the middle of that, you end up shooting an animal, then they come back for some more, and it could get even more powerful. Not just a little watcher, but like more troops and whatnot. But still,
this is a stretch, but what it was reminding me of as I watched the video was actually Minecraft. And I know Minecraft's built and everybody's like, yeah.
I got the same feeling.
that's cool.
I love to play Minecraft, and I have my little house, and I'm like, what's over that mountain over there? And you'll find a temple with something in the basement and just all kinds of stuff. It's about the
Booby-trapped to
exploration.
hell.
Exactly. So it's actually what it reminds me of.
I want to start a space pirate gang and start like Firefly and the shit. You know that show Firefly?
Yeah.
Straight up.
I hear about it. I hear that you can stay within the one same place and do that and be a sell stuff or pirate stuff and another feature that's really awesome. If you find a place and locate it before anybody else, you can switch out the name and it could be like you can name the planet.
It says discovered by Dark Entertainment. He won't discover shit, but
Yeah, because he skips our podcast.
Yeah, he's sucking on some major cock right now.
But we're not salty at all that he backed out at the last second. But that's actually a bad thing, though, because now I can see if you can actually name the planets, a bunch of 10-year-olds playing this game, you land on the planet. You have landed on cock and balls.
Cock and balls.
I'm sure it'll be regulated.
I don't think so.
I think it's your gamer tag is what it is.
Oh, it's just discovered by.
Yeah, I think it's
no. You can literally change the name, and there's so much that there's so many worlds that they themselves won't even be able to find it. So no, you could name a place these nuts, and all types of stuff. You can.
And the player right next to it is got him.
And that goes on to another thing. He was talking about how big it is. So it's, you see the land that the people's on in the trailer, and then it zooms out for days and then goes to a different world. So one of the things I was thinking about when I was watching, I was like, I wonder how many gigs this is going to take to install. And then the answer is like all of them. I'm interested in seeing if it's going to be a $30 like indie arcade title, or if it's going to be like full retail. Or
Well, I'll tell you what it is. It's not that they're real hush hush, but I think it's like 3 to 7 people working on this.
I think I heard that. Yeah.
And then the thing about it too, where they're from, they had a like a storm and it flooded their whole offices, and so they were able to save enough to keep the whole game. So, but they lost that, so they had a little bit of waiting to set up and whatever. But it's not that it's hush hush; it's just that it's 2-3 people.
Well, that's about all we have time for today, guys. As always, don't forget to like and subscribe to Nerdy Narcotics for all your geek and gaming-related addictions. We'll probably do another one of these for the upcoming 2016 games for holiday about halfway through the year. This is Sir Nate here with Miggy, Logan, and Prophet. Peace.